Let's now understand what Domain Keys Identified Mail, or DKIM, is. DKIM is an email authentication method designed to detect forged sender addresses in emails. It ensures the integrity of emails and verifies that they were not altered during transit. As a key benefit, it reduces the risk of phishing, spam, and email spoofing. But how DKIM works? The sending mail server signs the email with a private key, generating a unique signature. The signature is added to the email header as a DKIM signature field. The sender's public key is published in DNS as a DKIM record. Which are the main DKIM components? The first one is the private key. It's held by the sender and it's used to create the digital signature. The second one is the public key. It's published in DNS and used by receiving servers to verify the signature. The third one is the selector. It is a string in the DKIM signature field specifying which public key to use. And the last one is the hash algorithm that defines the cryptographic hash function used to create the signature. Here is an example. This is a DKIM signature, version 1, that uses a combination of Rivest-Shamir-Adleman or RSA public key signature algorithm and SHA-256 as hash algorithm. The domain is example.com and the selector is selector1. So here we have other additional information such as the public key and others. How can we verify the integrity of a DKIM signed email message? The receiving server retrieves the sender's public key from DNS using the selector. The received email signature is verified using the public key. The hash of the received email is compared to the hash in the signature to ensure integrity. Here is an example. As you can see, we have selector1._domain_key.example.com. Again, as we've seen for the SPF record, we don't have a proper DKIM record in DNS, but we will use the generic TXT record for it. Which are the common DKIM challenges? Key management. It's a good idea to safeguard and regularly update the private key. Selector naming. Choose a unique selector to avoid conflict. DNS configuration. Ensure correct publication of DKIM records in DNS. Algorithm selection. Select a secure hash algorithm for signing. Just to conclude, DKIM enhances email security by verifying sender authenticity and ensuring email integrity. You can consider implementing DKIM to reduce the risk of email-based attacks. Finally, please remember to regularly review and update DKIM configurations for optimal security. If you want to know more about DKIM protocol, you can visit the Wikipedia page at en.wikipedia.org/wiki/domaincase_identified_mail. If you want to have a tool to check the DKIM record, again, you can use the mxtoolbox.com/dkim.aspx, or you can use the Windows command line tool called NSLOOKUP. If you want additional information on how NSLOOKUP works, you can check the learn.microsoft.com relevant page. Let's now add our DKIM record. To do so, we need to go into our Google Workspace Admin Center at admin.google.com. Let's click on Apps, then let's click on Google Workspace left arrow, and once we have expanded this section, let's click on Gmail. In the rightmost part, let's move to Authenticate Email. In this area, we have two domains, the primary domain and the secondary domain that we have did before. Let's click on the domain we want to add the DKIM, that is our secondary domain in this case, and let's click on Generate New Record. First thing, we need to add the key length. DKIM protocol uses RSA cryptographic algorithm. RSA could use keys of different lengths. Google Workspace supports 1024 and 2048 bits. Of course, the default and best option is to use the longest key for security purposes. In case your DNS provider does not support such key length, you can still use the longest key and split it into two different records. So let's use 2048. Then we need to choose a prefix selector. Even this is an optional feature, the best thing to do is to use it. So let's choose LinkedIn as our prefix selector. Once we've done, let's click on Generate. Okay, we have the DNS record that is now ready. What is the value inside the TXT record? This is the public key of the 2048-bit RSA algorithm that we've chosen. So once an email is ciphered with the private key from Google Workspace, can be deciphered using the public key that each email client can find in the DNS. So we need to add a DNS record. Let's go back to the DNS manager. Let's add a record. It will be, again, a TXT record. Okay, so let's copy and paste this into the name of our TXT record. The value will be copied and pasted from the TXT record value area. Once we've done, we apply. The record is ready, as you can see. After that, we need to click on Start Authentication. Please note that most of the time, this operation will fail. This is because the propagation time could be roughly 48 to 72 hours to fully propagate. So we need to wait 2 or 3 days before clicking on Start Authentication and using DKIM. Another thing to know is that if we don't set the DKIM record in Google Workspace, DKIM will be in effect, but the authentication will fail because DKIM will not be for our own personal domain or business domain, but will be done on the Google domain. Still, the integrity will be granted by the DKIM algorithm.